Take action.
And we're live. All right. Welcome back to another episode of The Couch Show on our channel, Simply Rivalry.
Wait, we live?
I'm Lynn.
I'm Ray. We live?
We're live.
Oh, okay, cool.
We are on the interwebs.
Yay! We on the interwebs.
Woo! So it's
This
Thursday,
is immortalized.
going into the weekend.
Ooh, the weekend. So we got to keep it light today.
I still have the flu.
Oh my goodness, she's still sick.
This
Have you
sucks,
showered?
It feels like a head cold at this point. I have showered, thank you.
Because he's still in the same robe. I don't know. I feel like, yo.
I have, but my clothes underneath have changed.
Oh, okay. Oh, you got your bata? You're such an old lady. You got a bata?
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It's so funny, like, I put it on the one day, and I happened to see you, and you were like, oh, you're wearing a bata, and I was like, oh. I didn't even
Such an old
notice.
lady. Such an old lady wearing a bata.
Yep.
Oh, I don't see us live on YouTube's. Oh, there we are. Make sure you audio check. Let's make sure everything works.
Yeah, testing.
Testing. All right, no, it looks good today. Camera looks good. Audio sounds good. Look at us. The production value is going up, even though we don't have a producer. Yeah, I'm telling you, the last show went off the rails. No producer. I have no filter now. Nobody's censoring me. I'm like, Zay, whatever. I got fact checked live on air. Like, you're making shit up, right? You just started.
Man, which is crazy because then later in the night, you were telling me that it was the wrong state. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we were over here talking about it, and you were like, "Oh, California," and it wasn't Cali.
Yeah, no, it was like Maryland that was talking about it, and they're not even doing it anymore. It's like I really look. I'll admit, I just read headlines. I got to start reading these articles.
Which is so funny because you say that all the time, and still everything you say, we all take at face value. No,
don't take it at face value.
Knowing that headlines are.
I'm just stoking the fire. It's like, it's funny because you're like, oh yeah, today's topic is going to be take action. So I'm like, go to the streets. We need to take action. We need to tear it all down. Revolt. Hey, what are you doing?
Just walking
just
through
sneaking in there. What are you doing with that fro? Get out of here. He has his summer hair coming in now. Like the more he goes out in the sun and the more he's in the ocean, pool and stuff. You see? His curls are just popping. Yeah. Other than that, it's just like nappy head. Yeah, you need more sun and water.
Popping on the screen from the same direction, so it just looks like he's on loop.
Yeah, he's on loop behind me. It's like this is not really my background. I just have the blue with the green screen background?
Yeah, you see.
All right, Malcolm, go do school. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, so do you have any weekend plans, or are you just gonna be sick?
I plan on healing this weekend.
Healing?
Yeah.
Sound like Jada.
I have a memorial I'm going to on Saturday for my girlfriend's sister who passed away. So I have that coming up, but that's really the only thing I plan on doing this weekend. And even that's a maybe at this point.
Yeah, I got tomorrow. I'm gonna go see Doctor Strange 2 with the boys.
Very nice.
We got the tickets for like the early show. No, we're going booty early in the morning before the crowds hit. But it sucks because like I guess the movie leaked already, so like people are already spoiling it on YouTube.
Really?
Like certain scenes and stuff and cameos. I was like, no. Yeah, it's like that's why I hate the internet. I'm telling you, back in the day with the work. Back in the day, the worst was like if I didn't watch Game of Thrones that night, I was so pissed. I was so pissed because I had to go to work.
Everybody's talking about it at work.
Yeah. You know, driving to work. There's all the like the pop-ups, the titles. Oh, so-and-so died. Like, no, what the? Same thing with like The Walking Dead too. It was like that too. Like it was like, come on, man, why are you guys ruining it? And then, you know, the worst is like when they put the spoiler right in the thumbnail. So you see like the video of it, and it's like right there in the thumbnail or in the thumbnail for the article or whatever it may be. It's like they just, they don't care. They ruin it.
No spoiler alerts, just spoilers.
Yeah, exactly. So you know what I would start doing? I would start watching the video while driving to work. I would have it on my phone, and I would watch it. Well, because at the time I had Android, right? Mm-hmm. And so I didn't have like the whatever was broadcasting the show live. Mm-hmm. So the next day, on the high seas, being a pirate, right? Mm-hmm. I would find it, I would get it on my phone, and I would watch it on the way to work. So that way nobody would ruin it for me. Like, oh, okay. Oh, that's good times. Yeah, so they already ruined Doctor Strange. It's out there. You can figure out all the cameos, all the like who dies and all the stuff. It's like, damn, man. It's heartbreaking.
It's kind of cool that I'm not really into pop culture like that, because when they do talk about it, like on the, like whatever pops up on the radio or like whatever they're talking about in the office.
Goes
like,
right over your head. It goes,
whatever.
I envy you sometimes because I'm like, yo, it's stressful following sometimes. Like, think about like the MCU, right? The MCU, that's been around for almost, 20 years now that they've been doing movies? Like the first Iron Man? I think that like the first Iron Man came out in the early like 2000s, right?
Okay.
Right? 2005, I want to say somewhere around there. So that's that's a long time.
I cannot confirm.
Fake news. And that's all like a continuous timeline. So for you to like remember all that stuff, it's like, wait a minute. Wait, what? Oh yeah, they're referencing something that happened like 5 movies ago. Like, it's rough, man. Especially if like somebody doesn't have good memory. Like, oh man.
Maybe that's why I stopped watching it, because I was like, well, damn, I don't remember anything.
I don't know what's going on. You know what really irks me is when like I've watched a show, I fell off for like a while, and then I want to get back in, but I don't know what episode I was on. So like you'll go ahead.
And you start watching a few like minutes. Yeah. You're like, wait, I've seen this.
Yeah, and then, no, with that bothers me because I'm like, fuck, I'm wasting my time. But then the other thing that bothers me is when you like go like an episode or two ahead, and then they're recapping, and you're like, I didn't see any of this. What the hell? I didn't see any of this. Why am I watching this?
Oh, it's so funny.
Yeah.
So I'm really into the show Criminal Minds. And so I went back to the beginning and I started watching from the beginning again. And I've like caught up to the part that I've already watched. Now I'm like, well, I don't want to rewatch this.
So skip it.
Yep.
Let's see. So what you did was you went back to the episodes you forgot, right?
Basically, yeah.
That you forgot or you didn't see, and you caught up, and now you're somewhere in the middle where you already saw it, so it's fresh in your mind.
Well,
so it's like rehashing the same thing.
Because it's such an old show, like it's one of the shows that I used to catch on TV, like back when cable was a thing. So back then I wasn't watching episodes in order. I wasn't watching all the episodes. So when I was going back through now, I would start remembering an episode, like, oh, I've seen this episode, but
you don't remember the whole thing. So it's like, oh, okay, good, it's a refresher, right. And then you caught stuff you missed. So that was like with me with like Game of Thrones. Like I would watch it. And then, like when I knew the new season was coming, I would go back and watch the whole thing. Because like Game of Thrones was so like detailed and so like story driven. There was stuff that I missed, like the first viewing, second viewing, like even by the third viewing, I was like, oh, rediscovering things.
Yeah.
But then it made me mad because I saw it, and then like the last season was Dookie. And I'm so mad. I was like, really? I watched your stupid show, and this is how you're gonna end it? Oh, I'm so mad.
Everybody it's like Game of Thrones. Dies.
Yeah, no, Game of Thrones is like one of those shows I hate. Just the way they ended. How did you, because I know I got you into Lost. How do you feel about that ending? Do you remember it?
You know what? I was happy with the ending. I was like satisfied with it. I felt like, they had all came back together and they were ready to go on to the next,
Yeah, it was cool. I thought it was cool, but everybody was like, I think it's because like it was, I don't know if it was left up to interpretation. I just think some people took it the wrong way. And like they were like, oh, so they were all dead at the whole time. And I was like, no, they're not dead. It's just they all died at whatever point in their lives they died, and they came back together for one last, hey, what's up? And then boom. So it's like, I don't know. I feel like some people understood it and some people didn't.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't written clearly or what.
I mean,
but I liked Lost.
Oftentimes we expect certain things from shows that we watch. Like we expect it to reflect like our, reality. But the
Right.
fact is, like, it's content. It can go any direction, you know? And it's definitely, I mean, there was a freaking cloud going around the damn island. Like, that's not real. That's just not happening outside.
And I'm guilty of this. Sometimes we got to realize that these writers are just humans, right?
Yeah.
So they came up with a great idea, but they just, they run out of steam. It's like you're like 7 seasons in a show or something. And they're like, I don't know. Our creativity is tapped. Like give them kudos for what they were able to do, from that point on. So I don't know. I think because Lost was solely on, like, it was something they came up from scratch. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was a lot of questions that they, a lot of things they introduced, and we're like, what the, and they never answered it. Fine, whatever. I'm okay with that. Mm-hmm. But I think the one that really like gets me is Game of Thrones, because it was based off of a book, right? Mm-hmm. And they just, like, after they ran out of the material from the book, you could tell, like, those two guys had no creativity.
Oh, shit.
Have you seen the finale of Lost? I mean, the finale of Game of Thrones?
I did watch the finale, yes.
And
oh
what
my
did
God,
you think
my
of
battery's dying. Oh, our whole setup. Oh my God.
The show's gonna go down, and we haven't even talked about anything. We're just talking crap right now.
Somebody unplugged me.
Oh, man.
So I did finish Game of Thrones. Actually, I went back and I binge watched it maybe like 2 years ago now? A year ago?
Okay.
I don't know. At some point.
So you saw from beginning to the end?
I did. Yep. Straight through. All seasons.
And then at some point you were like, damn, the quality of this is kind of going down.
Yeah, I don't remember.
No? He just took you like, what it is?
It wasn't memorable.
It wasn't memorable. Hey, you know what? At least you forgot it, because I can't. Oh, that's hilarious.
I mean, I definitely remember being upset by just decisions that the characters were making. I was like,
it's not even
fine.
it didn't even follow like some of the characters, like some of the things they were doing. I was like, yo, this wasn't the character development.
Yeah.
Like you could instantly tell it was like night and day. Like the characters from the book that they were just interpreting and showing you online, and then as soon as they ran out of the book material, the characters all did a 180. I was like, wait, what? This makes no sense. Oh, there's so much. Oh man, it's horrible. I mean, there's a couple of shows like that too. Like they just like Dexter.
I never got into Dexter.
You should get into Dexter because you like all Criminal Minds.
Yeah.
You like Criminal Minds, right?
Yeah.
So you would love Dexter.
It's definitely on my watch list. I've just never.
I think you would love Dexter, and I think you would love Breaking Bad. Have you ever saw Breaking Bad?
I've seen Breaking Bad, yeah.
Yeah, so if you like Breaking Bad, I think you'll like Dexter because he's like a serial killer and like he's getting away with it, and he just like it's just his whole like mindset. And like there's a voice.
I think I saw like the first 2 episodes where it kind of introduces him, shows
like
his dad,
his whole story,
kind of like did his whole brain work kind of thing. Yeah.
And then like there's like he has like a whole internal monologue, and that's like the dark traveler inside of him. Mm-hmm. So every time he's like talking to himself, that's that serial killer inside of him talking, right? Talking out about like how he has to feed that darkness. It's really good. Especially if you like to see how like just a peek into that mindset of just being, a sociopath, because that's really what he is, right? He's a psychopath, right? So it's interesting. I like it. It's a good show. Yeah, it really is. And then it's like you see that and you're like, oh, he could have been a lot worse if it wasn't for his dad and his moral compass, right? So I liked it. Like I said, it just didn't end well. I know they brought it back, and I really didn't watch it because I'm still bitter with how it ended the first time. All right. So, what's today's topic? I didn't even look at it. Taking action. All right, this is a good one because I'm notorious for this. I'm like, I have internalize like things that I want to get done, but I procrastinate or I don't take the action. I don't hold myself accountable. I make excuses and I'm like, oh, tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes.
Right.
So this one's a good one. I'm gonna let you take the lead because it's your topic. So go ahead.
Yeah. So just diving right in, taking action. Something I've been struggling with, over the past, it's been about 2.5 years now, has been choosing a direction. Like, I've just been in such, like, I've been, like, in a state of reflection, like a state of rest, a state of reflection, pulling back from that demanding lifestyle of being in my 9 to 5 and, having to raise children, around that, having to maintain my household, having to rebuild my house after the fire. So I'm just like reflecting on life. And, to this point, it's always been putting out fires. It's always been, reacting to the stuff that's going on in my life and just how am I going to respond to this? How am I going to take care of this? How am I going to, get over this next hurdle?
So you're trying to do, what I'm hearing from you is you're trying to take a shift from being reactive to being more proactive. Mm-hmm. Like you're trying to find your purpose and your calling.
Right.
And that's where you're just kind of feeling lost in limbo because you don't have that. Mm-hmm. Well, it's okay not to know what that is.
It is okay. It absolutely is. But it's not okay to get stuck in this state of rest.
I hear you, but do you really want to like jump into something half-heartedly and force yourself into something because you are stuck in that state of rest?
At this point, yes.
Really?
Yeah.
So you rather jump into something right now, even though your heart's not in it 100%, you're not passionate about it, it's not really truly your calling. You just want to have something right now to have something right now?
Yes. Because now, with having so much time, I feel like I'm creating habits of time wasting. And,
okay. So then why don't you take action and break those habits?
Right, that's the kind of action I'm trying to take.
Well, I mean, without finding your calling a purpose. Like I see it all the time on Twitter, and I agree with it all the time. Somebody will tweet and they're like, if you're watching a movie, replace that with reading a book, right? If you're, watching porn, replace that with meditation. If you're, eating fast food, replace that with eating good food. It's like those things that I see it, and I'm like, yeah, I agree with all that stuff. It's like, but as humans, we always tend to go, the path of least resistance, right?
Right.
So it's like, why not just do those simple things in your day to day to just make it feel like you're developing a habit of being more fulfilled. Start with meditation, start with reading books, cut back on TV, start cooking more, which I know you started cooking more because, you've seen the cost of just takeouts ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. I can no longer afford that lifestyle.
Yeah, I know. A pie of pizza used to cost like $10, $15. Now it's like $30, $40. I'm like, oh my goodness. What are these toppings? Gold? I'm like, geez, it's crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, I feel like a lot of people get caught in a period of inaction, and it has to do a lot with fear, and has a lot to do with being indecisive.
Right.
But I think there are, smaller steps that we can take, which is going to just build that momentum.
Actually, like what I've noticed, at least just for me, mostly, it's that whole, it's just like I like the path of easy. The path of least resistance. I gotta learn how to embrace the suck. I really do. And it's like I could do it because I'm ex-Marine. I've done it before where life sucked and I just took it head on, right? I did it with a smile on my face. But it's like by choice for me to embrace the suck, it's rough.
Right.
It's just I'm like I ask myself, I'm like, why am I doing this? I could be doing something else.
So usually it's because we're holding ourselves accountable because there's an outside source.
Yes.
Like think about it. Like you go through grade school and like the teachers tell you like, hey, you gotta do X, Y, and Z. They give you your goals. They say, hey, this is what you're working towards.
Right.
But what they don't do is teach us how to set our own goals.
Exactly.
They don't teach us the meaning behind that. They kind of just say, hey, these are the things you gotta do. These are your dates. Like they set the goals for us without involving us in that process. And then, you get older and you get a job. And it's like, all right, well, I have to do this because I'm at work. These are the expectations of me. So it's about applying that in your personal life.
Right. And that's why I feel like the current school system where it's like a grade, like, oh, you got to get a grade. And I get it. It's a very simple, tangible way of seeing if you're progressing or not. Mm-hmm. But in that same sense, it's like once you get that grade, that's it. That's the only accountability that's being held on you. You know, there's no way, there's nothing else that's teaching you how to grow those life goals. Like you said, those life goals or anything like that. Whereas if school was more focused on, let's say, maybe business or something, and it was like, hey, let's seed your business idea. And then you went to school and like you actually grew a business from like, you know, conception all the way to like, hey, 2 years later, my business is actually thriving. Mm-hmm. And then you had the ups and downs of a business and you kept being consistent with it. I think that would develop people a lot more. Like it would bring out a lot more maturity out of people than just chasing grades. Because once you get that grade, that's it. You don't care about it, right?
Right.
And once you're done with that class, what did most people do? They data dump, right? They're like, oh, I'm done with that class. On to the next one.
Don't worry about that anymore.
Yeah, next grade. Hey, Fuzz, welcome to the show. Thank you for watching.
Hey, morning.
Did we lose Trist? We did lose Trist. Trist will be on. I know he'll be on.
It's too early. He'll be on in a bit.
Yeah. Oh, man. So, yeah. So, I totally agree with you with just how we hold ourselves accountable. Mm-hmm. It's like we got to develop that as people. We got to, if we want to take action in our lives, right? It's our life. We only got one life to live it. We want to take that action. We got to do the things in our lives to hold ourselves accountable. Yeah. Not making excuses.
And it sucks because, you know, we find that we're able to produce so much. Mm-hmm. You know, like that pressure, that outside pressure, really pushes us to produce. Yes. And we need to find a way to be able to do that for ourselves.
Yes. And it's funny that you say that because I'm thinking in my head, I've been watching The Young Rock on NBC. So it's the story of, you know, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, mm-hmm. right? He's like super famous now, but it's like kind of going back in his life and his story. And like he even said it, he had to hit rock bottom before he developed, he decided to be that persona, right? Like his dad was in wrestling, but he didn't go after wrestling. He tried to make a career in football, right? Mm-hmm. He went to college football. He didn't get drafted in the NFL. He ended up playing in like Canadian football. They ended up cutting him, right? Mm-hmm. And when they sent him back to Miami, and when his father came to pick him up from Tampa, and they were driving back, he was like, "Yo, we need to get gas. How much gas do you have in your pocket?" He goes and he's like, "I only have $7." Mm-hmm. And to this day, his production company is called $7 because of that. Like he realized he put so much effort into trying to be a football player, and all he ended up was with $7. That was his rock bottom. Mm-hmm. And that's when he realized, yo, I need to get into wrestling because that's the only other thing I got. And sure enough, look, he blew up, right?
Yeah.
So it's like sometimes we do need to hit that rock bottom for us to, you know, it's like what they say, like when you, like the worst creature you can come up against is a cornered creature, right? Mm-hmm. An injured corner creature, because they will fight for life, right? Yep. It's like with us too. It's like we don't know our full potential until like we're carrying on the massive weight of the world. Mm-hmm. Right? At least that's how we feel. Like we hit rock bottom. Oh my God, I'm losing my house. I'm like, what do I want to do? Then the next thing you know, you get this kick-ass job, right? You kick ass in the job. You see your full potential. But it takes that, because other than that, we're just living in easy street.
Yeah. And like I question that too, you know, like for me, like I feel like after rebuilding my house, I haven't really had a challenge, I want to say. You know, I haven't really had something to throw myself at to really work on, and I'm bored. Mm-hmm.
I 100% agree with you.
I mean, I definitely, I'm enjoying this time of like I'm so much less stressed. Mm-hmm. I'm not even stressed. I have no worries right now. You know, like my bills are paid. I live well below my means. I'm comfortable. My children are comfortable. So now I'm just looking for like, all right, what's next? What's gonna light that fire in me?
Mm-hmm. Yep. What's gonna put that fire in my ass to do something?
Mm-hmm.
And I get it, but it's like in the same sense. That's why I keep asking you. Like, if everything's so good right now, why do you want to shake the ship? You know,
Mm-hmm.
Why do you want turbulence?
Because I have that desire to do something. I want to produce something. I want to have something that I'm working towards.
But you got to look at things in perspective. It's like you got your flight took off on time, right? You got tailwind. You're flying. You're gonna get there early. It's beautiful weather when you get there, when you land. Like you want turbulence. You want the mask to come out, and you're like, oh my god, I gotta put on my mask and then help my kids. It's like, why do you want all that turbulence in your life?
I don't want turbulence. That's not what I'm looking for.
Because
right,
then that's when you can see that you're a survivor.
I have my plane up in the air. I'm hovering. Where am I going? Yeah, I'm not worried about turbulence.
And you feel like you're running out of gas.
I'm not running out of gas. I'm just like, all right.
Oh man, technically you are running out of gas. You know, life is still moving forward.
Oh yeah, but I'm not running out of gas.
It is. You're running out of years. You're running out of time. So I mean, I hear you. The question is like, why is it that we have to go through, you know, why do we have to have obstacles in front of us to be able to challenge ourselves and answer the call?
Right.
Right. So right now you're like, why can't I answer the call of just being fulfilled and finding my purpose and being active with my purpose? But in the same sense, you've been blessed with this, you know, with this sense of carefreeness, if I want to say that, if that's even a word.
Sense of peace,
right? You
sense
have
of freedom.
you sense of peace, sense of freedom. Yeah, why jeopardize that?
I don't want to miss my opportunity.
So you got FOMO.
I don't want what I currently have to go away. Like, the reality is, like, 10 years from now, I'm not going to be okay.
Right.
You know? So I want to know that I'm building something sustainable that, you know, I can do long term.
Gotcha. So, with today's topic, taking action, did you take action on the business you wanted to start?
I have. I've been sticking to my course, even though I had the flu.
So the last time we touched based on this, you had written a business proposal for your friend, and you kind of got rejected.
Yeah.
So now, fast forward, did you write a business proposal for yourself?
I have. So I revamped it to So I'm personally taking a course about publishing. So doing like ebooks and just digital products. So I'm just sticking with my course. I'm going through, like, I have my plans. I've reconstructed the same business plans so that it kind of reflects like my goals within this course. And that's where my focus is right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. So I mean, you're driving towards action, right? You're taking action. You just gotta take it day by day.
Yeah.
You gotta remember, don't fall into the trap. Like us humans, we want, especially now in this day and age, because we're so programmed with content being delivered to us right away, right? So it's like even like nowadays, you hear people complaining when there's like a show that you gotta watch the episodes weekly, right? Because we're so used to binge watching. We're so used to like 6-second content, right? Just like, things happening now, and you gotta realize that when you start building something from scratch, it's gonna take time.
Yeah.
Like you're laying the foundation, and it's gonna take time before you see it grow. So you just gotta know that as long as you're staying focused on your purpose, each day you're putting a little bit of effort into it, right? You're gonna see it grow.
Yeah.
Now here's the difference between, you know, finding your purpose. Your purpose, you're just doing it every day anyway.
Right.
Because you enjoy doing it. Like you wake up and you're like, that's it, this is what I'm doing. And that's why I feel like I haven't found my purpose, because I don't wake up every day and I'm like, yo, this is what I want to do. Other than my kids, I don't really see anything to where I wake up and I'm like, this is what I want to do. So I haven't found that calling yet. I gotta wait till, you know, the universe smacks me in the face with it. Oh. Oh, okay, this is what I gotta do.
You miss slapping people.
No, I slap people all the day. Me and my kids, man, we wrestling all the time. I'm telling you,
happiness. Be happy.
Yeah, I know. That's where we gotta go. I'm telling you, we gotta do a road show. We gotta start going out there. We gotta start getting out to people and be like, "Why are you not happy?" You see me chasing somebody down the street. Why are you not happy? And they're like, "Leave me alone." Oh, it's hilarious. So, how long is the course that you're taking?
It's supposed to be completed over 3 weeks.
Okay.
But what I did was I'm just like quickly going through it, and I'm gonna go back through it a second time slowly and actually do all the steps.
Gotcha.
So I'm kind of just flying through it, listening to all the modules, understanding kind of like the bigger picture, and then I'm gonna go back and create.
Gotcha. Cool. Was this a free course?
No, it was a paid course.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah, one of those like IG things that's like, oh, watch this free course until the end, and then we're not gonna try and sell you something, and then they do sell you something.
And then we're gonna upcharge you, and now you gotta pay. And then we sucked you in, because then after this course is over, we're gonna be like, go to the advanced course.
Yep. I'm part of the Facebook group, the whole nine.
That's funny that you said that, because like since the markets and crypto's been tanking, I've been kind of worried about my portfolio, and I was like, oh no, I might have to go back to work. So I went ahead and did my annual cost for my certs, right? And then when you have certifications, you got to do what's called CPEs, continuing professional education. So you got to feed those every year. So it's like a fee, and then you also got to do these credits, right? So I was like, well, let me get a jump start on this year's credit. So I started looking online for like any kind of free whatever, right? And I found one website where they were having a 2-day like virtual conference, and I could get like 12 CPs out of there. So I was like, all right, let me sign in. But throughout the whole conference, that's all they're doing. They're just trying to upsell you their university. They're like, we're an accredited university, and they're trying to upsell you their course. And they're like, oh, this is like the leading like course and leading certification and all this stuff. And I'm like, oh man. Like in a way, I was like, oh, I'm so glad I'm out of all this stuff. Like I don't want to go back into that environment. Like don't get me wrong, I suggest it to anybody. When I say like, hey, if you're looking for a job, take supply and demand, right? There's a reason why teachers don't get paid so much, right? Because there's a high supply of teachers.
Right.
But if you look at IT security, there's a high demand of IT security, but there's a limited supply because not many people want to do that. Not many people understand that, right? So I'm like, it's a great way to get your foot in the door. I know I was looking at cloud security, right? Everything's going to the cloud, right? We hear like Amazon Cloud, Google Cloud, right? What's the other one? Azure, which is Microsoft, right? Microsoft Cloud. So everything's going to the cloud. We need to secure it. These guys are getting paid. I mean, they go and they get one certification. They're making like $150K a year. Like they're getting paid. And so I'm like, look, the opportunity's out there. You just got to have the patience to do it.
Right.
And that's the thing. Like I look at this stuff and I'm like, I don't want to do it. I really don't have the patience. I'm burned.
It's a burnout.
And it is. But if things do get a little more, if things get worse, like right now I've been watching like inflation, right? Inflation is going up. So the Feds the Federal Reserves have to combat it. They just had their recent meeting. They just raised interest rates by like 0.5 point, which is like the highest increase since like 2000. If they keep going that way, the market's going to keep crashing, right? Right now, the market kind of took a relief. They were like, oh, it's kind of priced in as far as like, hey, it's a 0.5 point. That's what they thought it was going to be. That's what it ended up being. So I'm hoping that things kind of stems out, kind of relax and, things starts to pick up again. But if it does get worse, I might have to go take a course. I'll be right there with you. I'll go take a course. I'll do the thing that I don't like to do. I get it because I know it. I know it will pay the bills and I got to pay the bills. But I'm hoping that I can figure out something else that it would be more of my calling.
Right.
So I'm right there with you. I get it. I totally understand. It's like somebody telling you, hey, money's running low. You got to go back to enterprise. You don't want to do that.
Right.
You don't ever want to go back to enterprise.
No, thank you.
I get it. So.
But same thing. Like, I would, if it comes down to it, like, I would. And I'd
right. Push comes to shove. Yeah.
I don't want to
right.
do that. That sounds awful.
Yeah. It's like, but the saying is what? Stick to the demons you know, right?
Right.
Stick to the evil.
Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, no.
All right. I'm back.
Yeah. So stick to the evils you know.
Stick to the evils you know. Hold on, I gotta flip my whole phone over here. This is so obnoxious. All right. But I mean, I know how to do that, and if I need to, like I said, I'll try to change it up a bit by going to a different, because I was in IT security, but I was part of like compliance, right? So it was like, oh, the laws came out that you got to have this security, you got to have that, and we do audits and we do compliance. And so me personally, I'm tired of doing that, so I wouldn't mind going over and switching over to something else. Mm-hmm. They're like, they got him. They nuked me again. I'm talking good stuff though. They're like, no, you're telling secrets, how to make money. You're talking about supply and demand. Shut him down. He was talking about the Federal Reserves. Oh, that's such a crook. Feds. And they nuked me. Man, I gotta fix the whole setup.
Well, I've been reading a lot about like crypto and stuff, and just like whatever's popping up in my feed. They started talking about like the what is it called? The like governments are gonna have their own coins. They're gonna have like centralized coins, digital currencies. I was just like, oh come on. But I feel like even if the different governments decide that they are gonna have like their own cryptocurrencies, their own coins, that's still going to put enough faith in the decentralized coins that we're going to see the increases.
Well, if you look at it right now, I mean, the difference between let's just call it the digital dollar, right, versus the regular dollar, it's going to be the same thing. Like if you what you're saying right now, you see like Russia, right? Russia was sanctioned, and what did? They said, oh well, we're gonna move. If you're buying anything from us, you got to buy it in our currency, right? Because they used to accept euros and dollars. Now they're like, no, it has to be the ruble. And they're moving to the gold standard.
Yeah.
So right now, the dollar around the world they're losing faith in the dollar. The only reason why the dollar was the predominant source of trade, right, was because of trust. And if the world loses trust in the U.S. government, which is slowly happening, the dollar's not going to be it. It's going to be something else. It's going to be either gold or whatever. So yes, you're right. They're going to have all these digital, whatever, the digital rupee, the digital yen, the digital, all these different currencies, digital euro, right? But they all have to work together. There got to be something there that kind of helps them all translate, right?
Right.
Convert it and all that. So I don't see Bitcoin going away. I don't see Ethereum going away. I see maybe possibly if there's something that comes along that, because they are dinosaurs, the tech is kind of old, right? You hear like with Ethereum, you hear like what was it? ApeCoin came out and it brought down the Ethereum network.
Yeah, I think they crashed for like 8 hours.
Yeah, and fees were like for like a simple transaction, the gas fees were like $3,000-$4,000. It's like that's insane. That's not feasible. So I see that's why I do have hope. And then some, other projects that they're going to come out, something's going to come out and it's going to overtake these projects. It's just like kind of like what happened with MySpace, right? MySpace was around and then Facebook came and blew it out of the water. So I do believe in that. And I don't know. I see crypto's not going away. There's too much.
I think that switch right there from MySpace to Facebook is why I dropped off of social media.
Oh yeah? You like your MySpace page?
I was all about MySpace. I was in high school when MySpace was a thing, and I was a programmer. You know,
yeah,
I was
she
on
had her
code.
whole page.
You know, like I was having
her
fun
page
with
was
it.
all nice, and then they dropped her page.
Yeah, and then it was like, oh, everybody's going to Facebook. I was like, Facebook? That's whack.
What's funny was I was never on MySpace, and I was because I missed all that. I was in the Marines. I missed all that stuff, right? And then when I was in consulting with Booz Allen, DC area, and I was working with all these kids who just got out of college, right? Mm-hmm. And they were like, yo, you know, Facebook is the it thing. Like, you need to invite. If you're not an invite, you're not cool. Mm-hmm. So I was like, oh, shit, I want to get in. That's the only reason why I got into Facebook. And then everybody got it. I'm like, I don't want this no more. Like, it wasn't cool anymore. I remember that. Like, Facebook, you needed an invite, and Gmail, you needed an invite. Mm-hmm. I was like, yo, hook me up. Let me have the invite. It's like, yeah, I'll send it to you. So I remember that, but now it's like anybody and everybody can get it.
Yeah.
No, the cool thing now is IG, right? Everyone wants to see how your life is going. Mm-hmm. Oh, post those photos. I got a little IG photographer over here. We went on that trip last week, and he was posting all kinds of photos. Nice. I was like, damn, you stealing my thunder. Just posted all the good photos on there. Yes. Just listen for the doorbell, all right, boys? All right. I got UPS coming. I got like tons of packages I got to return. I'll just have the guy come and do it.
Ouch. Yo, my finger hurts so bad. So did I share with you guys that I hurt my hand? I hurt my hand like a week ago.
No.
All my knuckles were all bruised up.
No. Who you punching?
So my
Why
one
you getting into
knuckle,
fights?
it just hurts like hell, man.
Why are you getting in fights?
I'm not getting in fights.
Let me guess. You backhand the boyfriend again?
No. I am not a violent person.
Unless she has to be. Oh man. Yeah, so I don't know. I'm very optimistic when it comes to crypto. And to be honest with you, I kind of want to get into it. Like if I'm forced back into the workforce, I would want to do something with blockchain, like blockchain development, blockchain security, something like that. Okay. Because that kind of interests me. Than getting into what I used to do. I'm like, I don't want to go back into that. I don't. Like, I keep in touch with the people I work with, and they're like, oh, things are getting worse. They're like, I'm like, I'm so glad I left.
It's getting worse. How are they getting worse? I think it's crazy that a lot of people are being like mandated to go back into the office. Like, how do you send them home for like 2 years, and now you're like, come back to your cubicle?
Yeah, that, and then you're doing that in the midst of like the highest gas prices in the longest time. Mm-hmm. It's like you shown like we could work from home, and then you're adding this extra cost on people just to be in the hamster wheel and be like, you're present. I gotta see you. Yeah. Because if I don't see you, you're not working. Like I don't understand that mindset. And that's why I can't. Like I don't want to do that. Like if I have to go back into the workforce, I would rather go with like a startup. Where it's like, hey, you are graded on your merit as far as like your work, right? So like a startup is like, hey, we need you to do this. And as long as you did that, it doesn't matter if you worked 8 hours that day or 4 hours that day. It's like, look, you tell me what I got to do. Tell me my task. I got my task completed.
Right.
Done. That's it. That's how it should be. It's like, it's crazy that they're like, oh, you got to be in the office. Just for what? For what? So I could surf on the internet, right? Because let's be honest, most people are surfing on the internet, right? Or you're, bonchinches, right? You're just gossiping with your neighbor, right? Your cubicle mate, or you're just walking around. You're just wasting time.
Yeah.
I don't get that. Let me waste time at home.
Yeah.
Let me do my, 4 hours of work, and then let me do the other 4 hours of tasks that I got to do at home while I'm still under quote unquote business hours. Mm-hmm. Like, it's so obnoxious. Oh, so obnoxious. I can't. It's like, to me, the school system is archaic. The workforce is archaic. It's like we need to change all of these institutions. Mm-hmm. But it makes sense. School is building you to be, that modern day slave, and the workforce is your modern day slaveness. It's like, why would they cater to you? Yeah. Why would they care about you? You're a slave. And this is why I don't understand people who dedicate their lives to work, because it's like, yo, if you were to die right now, a week later, your job will be advertised and you'll be replaced. You are just a number. You got an employee ID, right? Mm-hmm. Employee ID. Your 6 little numbers, and boom, that's who you are. They don't see you as a person. They see you as a number, as a product. Yeah. So why are people? I don't get this mindset. Which I did. I started hearing some rumblings of like I don't know if it was Cali or. This is a good thing. I'm not attacking Cali again. That they're trying to change the work hours to be like 35 hours a week or something instead of 40. Like they're looking to make that a law. Yeah. Which is about time, because I think like Paris, they changed theirs like years ago. I read an article. It was like maybe 5-10 years ago where they changed it to like 30 hours a week from 40. It's like people are working too much. For what?
Yeah. And it shows that like your quality of life comes down the more hours we work.
Yeah. Yeah, because you're stressed. There are
people who are, doing double that. There are people working 60, 70, 80 hours a week.
Right, because you're stressed. You're stressed out, right? You're just unnecessary stress. You don't think about, if you're working all those hours, you really don't have time to take care of your mind. You don't have time to take care of your body. Right. Right. You don't have time to socialize, which humans, we are social creatures, right? Not everybody's like me. I'm a loner. I could be alone, and it's great. I can recharge my batteries. I'm like, yeah, this is great. But most people, they like, socializing. And you don't really have time for that when you're working those crazy hours. So, like, I don't know. It's like, there's a reason why, like, in the prime of my career, when I was, like, working for big names, right? Booz Allen, Deloitte, I walked away from that because that was just too aggressive for me. It's like wearing a suit and tie. You had to bring in $1 million. You had to network. You had to, I wasn't an ass kisser. I'm not the type of person that's going to ass kiss. And so I wasn't doing all that stuff. So I walked away from that. I got this job thinking like, oh, hey, this is going to be laid back, right? It's going to be my retirement job. And then they started bringing that stuff over there too. I was like, bro, this is research and development. This should not be stressful. This is research and development. Like, this is literally meant for trial and error, right? Mm-hmm. Like, and granted, when it first started, it was great because it was like, me being a tech nerd, we were like, oh, hey, let's try this product. Cool. We have the test bed environment for it, right? We got the lab for it. Let's do it. Let's try this product. Let's try that product. Let's work with this. Let's work with that. Oh, this is cutting edge. Oh, yeah, let's test it. But then, like, little by little, they just started to incorporate like that corporate mindset of like, you're just a cod in the system. You just keep working. And now it's just that's what I'm hearing from my my previous coworkers, because I'm still in touch with them. I'm like, oh, hey, how's things going over there? And they're like, it's just getting worse. Ever since we came back to the office, it's just getting worse. Oof. And that was like the first thing, like the first rumblings were they were like, oh, they want us in 3 days out of the week. I'm like, really? With the gas prices going up, they want you guys to come back in? It's like, yup. I was like, yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Damn. Ma's on. Hi, Ma.
Ma said, good morning, my beautiful children. I'm here watching the show. Love you both. Socks, please. All right, Ma, just for you. Since I'm wearing the ones you got me, let me go ahead and show them. Hey, here we go. Such an ordeal. I was all ready too, because I'm going to the dentist after this. So I have my shoes on, so I just took off my shoes. I gotta undo this light. Which doesn't look so bad without the light, because it's like I got the backlight from up there. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's supposed to be like 70 degrees today.
Yeah, it's going to be nice and warm today.
Are you gonna get out, or are you gonna stay indoors?
I'll be in my backyard.
Yeah, at least that. Yeah. Recharge, get some sun on you. Yeah. All right, so let's see. How do I rotate this? Rotate. Oh, there they are.
Got the feet.
Little Sour Patch Kids. My favorite candies. My favorite candies.
Very good.
My
favorite. Do you have Sour Patches to share with us?
I do not. I eat them. Yo, so I need Fuzz to send me a care package. Because my favorite, Sour Patch Kids, they got like the different flavors, but then they started doing like the just one flavor. Yeah. And so recently I saw that they had like just watermelon, which is great. They had just the blue raspberry, which is great, right? But for some reason, and it's only in the city, and it's those newsstands in the city, like when you see those newsstands and they have the candy and the newspaper and all that, right? Mm-hmm. In the corners. They have Sour Patch Cherry, which is my favorite.
I've seen
And
grape.
it's just, yeah, I had grape the other day, and it's just cherry. It's just cherry, and it's like, oh. So like every time I go to the city, I get that.
Why are they avoiding them in the city?
I don't know, but when I go there, I get that, and I also go nuts for nuts. You ever seen the sign?
Go nuts for nuts. Yeah, hell yeah, I always get the nuts.
Yeah, and I'm like, yo, why they ordered it in the city? It makes me mad because it's only those
late night too.
Going nuts for nuts.
It's always like after a show or something, and I'm just like, ooh, they have a nuts truck.
No, after the show, you always get your two brothers.
Oh, definitely, because then I just jump on, go through the tunnel, get out of the city. Yep.
You know what's funny is like we've been recently doing Two Brothers, but before that we were doing the shish kebabs, the corner shish kebabs. Oh, so good.
That's true. I haven't had a kebab.
And then the nuts. Yeah, it was the corner shish kebab, and then right next to the guy would always be the nuts for nuts guy. Yeah.
He said, "PO box, please."
Well, you don't have a PO box. I'm just kidding, Fuzz. I don't want. Fuzz, listen. You buy them, you eat them in spirit of me. Like you take a shot for me, you eat the Sour Patch Kids for me.
Fuzz doesn't eat candy.
No. What? You don't eat candy? Oh, I eat candy all the time. That's why I gotta go see the dentist. Probably got like 5 cavities. It is what it is. It is what it is. Because you know what? I'm just gonna end up going like to one of those what do they call them? Those medical vacations that people do. I was gonna take one of those and just get my whole teeth, get implants put in. Come back with a whole grill, like, yeah, got some all new teeth. That was my plan, because I'm like, I vices.
Yeah, I enjoy candy. I don't mind candy. I feel like soda's the one that's like, really don't need that in my life.
I don't do that ever since. I mean, every once in a while, I'm not gonna lie. Every once in a while, like if I go to the movies, you know, the kids want to hear every once, and I'll take a sip or whatever. Mm-hmm. But for the most part, that was one thing I took out from the Marines. They really drove home drink water. They scared the fuck out of me about water. They're like, you need to stay hydrated. So ever since that, I've just been buying water. Huh. And look, shit you not. Let's go over right here. Just look, fact check it. Let's fact check Raymond. Here we go. Watch.
Buzz likes cherry Coke. That's his drug.
So you see the fridge. You see the artwork. All the kids' artwork. You see the waters over here. And then bam, you see all the waters over there. And if you look, there's no other drinks. There's some protein drinks. Got some milk. And of course, here's me. Sweet tooth.
Candy in the fridge.
Yep. Some sweet tarts right there. Sweet tarts. Here, what we got here? Here's some Jolly Ranchers.
Oh my God.
I'm running low on my Coronas in the back. So there you go. So I have a sweet tooth, but I stay hydrated with water.
Oh, it's very healthy. Very healthy. So the kids and I, we decided like we're all gonna drink a different brand of water.
Okay.
So that gets rid of the whole, like, my kids are super picky. They're like, ew, that's not my water. I don't know who drank from that. So now we're each gonna have our own brand. So I don't want to hear shit. That's your brand,
that's smart.
That's your bottle.
So like you got Dasani and they got the Walmart brand.
Yep.
I don't know. My kids, I was like, yo, you all got the same DNA. Share your shit. And they've been doing that ever since. So they're like, they don't even know about that. Ooh, cooties. I'm like, listen.
I'm super picky like that. So they may have.
Yes, you are. They never understood it. Like if I took a sip of the Sprite, she'd be like, I don't want no more. I don't want it. Like, it's the whole bottle full still. Nah, not my kids. Because I'm like, yo, if you get hurt and you need blood, you're going to take his blood, right?
That's true. It's very true.
You need an organ. He's probably the same organ donor that he could save your life. And you can't take a little bit of his saliva? Come on. Oh, Fuzz said cherry Coke is his drug. Yeah. Here at my house, the kids love root beer. Yeah, I guess they get that from me because I was really a Dr. Pepper root beer kind of guy. So we'll do the root beers. And like when we go camping, I would have the beers. Like I would have, you know, my Coronas or White Claws or whatever, and they would have their root beers. And so we would be like just drinking by the fire. And then I'd be like, yo, let me have another beer. And then they'd be like, can we have another beer? I'm like, yeah, you guys can have no beer. So they'd be all excited. They'd be all like sugared up and then crash.
So my daughter tried a root beer float for the first time the other day.
Oh, with the ice cream and everything?
Yeah, and like her mind was blown because it was at a Stewart's, like a gas station.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
And so like they put like everything in there, and like they gave her like the bottle what was left of like the soda, and she was just like, and I get the rest of the soda. Like, it was everything for her. It was everything.
Oh shit. Fuzz said I would take their empty bottles and fill it up with tap water. Yeah, you know, that's like the biggest lie we've ever lived was like, oh, we need bottled water.
Yeah, we can't drink tap
It's been like that for the longest time. It's like, oh, tap water is so bad. I was like, I remember when I was a kid, I would just be from the tap. And now it's like, no, gotta have the bottled water. I need the bottled water. And that was like the one that's hilarious because that was like the one thing I stocked up on. Like when COVID hit, I was like, yo, stock up because there's gonna be a food shock, which they're still talking about a food shortage, right? So I got like cans of tuna stocked up in the pantry, and then I got like tons of like water bottles, like the package of the water bottles.
Yeah.
I got like 2 shelves, maybe 3 shelves stocked of that. And I was like, yo, I was stocking up all this water. Cause I was like, if power goes out, right? I got a well here, but it's all, you know, power run. So if power goes out, I'm stuck.
Okay.
My buddy said that there's a way, like there's a thing that I could build. So I'm going to go with him and we're going to try to build this thing where I could just tap into where the well is and bring out my own water, which would be kind of cool. But then I'm like, oh, well water. Ew.
Tastes like eggs.
Yeah, really. I get mad when I'm taking a shower and a little bit gets in my mouth. Or I brush my teeth and I got to rinse it out. Like, yeah, no. This is gross. Well water. There's a way to clean your well water though. It's like something with like you pour like I gotta look on it online or something. It's like diluted bleach down the well and it cleans it for you. That's not so bad.
Yeah, that water just stinks. It stinks. It tastes like it smells. It's nasty. Oh.
And it changes and it makes everything all kinds of different colors. I'm like, what the hell?
It changes the color of your laundry.
Yeah, and your tub. It's like I got like red, I got blue. I'm like, what the? Come on, man. It's like this is. I need regular street tap water with the 1,000,001 chemicals that was put in it that cleans up my tub. It's like the only water.
Actually, I like the taste of tap water in New York City.
Do you really? Mm-hmm. With all the chemicals they got in it? That's crazy. Good. Really?
Yeah. Like the tap water here at home is like weird, but in the city, it shit's crisp. It tastes good.
Well, they're saying like there's the fluoride is not good for you in the water.
Yeah.
Which for the longest time,
which isn't
like,
good for us,
fluoride.
but it's the same shit they're putting in our toothpaste. Like.
Yeah, but you're not digesting it. Like you're brushing your teeth, and then you know.
That's bullshit.
Your
body is always absorbing stuff. You're telling me your gums and stuff aren't absorbing that?
Yeah, briefly. 2 minutes. Oh, New York City tap water is considered the best in the country. I didn't know that. Interesting. No wonder you like the taste of it. It's pretty much bottled water. I don't know. I think of like big cities and like since they're all like going down, I think in bad stuff. So.
Oh man, do you remember that movie where like the wind would blow and then people just start killing themselves?
Yeah, I watched that movie the other day with the kids. They were trying to figure it out.
It always happens in like the largest populated areas.
Yeah, because like my youngest, he's really into like whodunits and like mystery movies.
Okay.
So like he's really like because he wants to like solve it, right?
Yeah.
So I was like, all right, I got a good one for you, and you know, M. Night Shyamalan. I was like, put that on, and we were watching it, and he's like, they're like trying to figure out like what's going on, and I think he caught on to it because he was like, I think it's the trees. See how they're moving, and the camera keeps panning onto it. Like he's picking up on foreshadowing. So he's like, I think it's the trees. That was a good movie. It was. I know he gets a lot of.
Thank you, Fun.
Yeah, The Happening. Yeah, I know. M. Night Shyamalan gets a bad rap sometimes, but his movies are okay. It's better than some of the other stuff out there. Like I watched, what was it? Old. That one was okay. It was okay. Did you watch that one where they're like they discover a beach, and it's like making time move faster?
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, you gotta watch that one. Yeah.
You're just supposed to have the opposite effect.
Yeah. Actually, the next time I go over there, I got an app that we got to download. Mm-hmm. Wait, do you have Roku or Fire? Yeah, Fire Stick.
I have both, but you know what? I have Roku because my Fire Stick is still in the box.
Gotta use the Fire Stick. You can sideload apps, and I got a couple of pirate apps I want you to get. Because I found this new pirate app. Ooh, wee! Ooh, it's on another level. I get everything on there.
I have to hurry up and start using it before they take it away.
Well, it's called
Showbox. They took Showbox from us.
Yeah, I know. Showbox. Actually, I had a bunch of them. There was one called Zion TV. This thing blew everything out of the water. And then they just killed it. There was a new one. There was one recently that I was using. It was Kuko TV. Mm-hmm. They killed that one too. And I was like, what the hell's going on? Like, none of the links were working and everything. Mm-hmm. So I went on YouTube, and this lady, she was saying, I guess Sky Network, which is British, but they're like, I think tied to Fox. They did like a cease and desist. So it was because of them that they ended up shutting down. So I was like, oh man. Well, this new one, you can look it up. It's out there. You can even download it on your phone right now. It's called MovieBox. Mm-hmm. But there's the other side. It's called MovieBox Pro. Woo, that's a whole different thing. You can get MovieBox right now, and MovieBox will just show you like what channel has what, and you're like, oh, okay, that's cool. But MovieBox Pro.
And that's on the Fire Stick?
Well, yeah, you got to sideload it. So the Fire Stick is Android. Mm-hmm. So you know how Android, you can install any app you want.
Yep.
So there's a way, like, you got to go and say, yeah, you accept, unknown sources. Unknown sources. And then you get an app called Downloader, and then you go to the website, and then you get you install the app on that way.
That sounds like too much work.
No, it's not. It takes me like 10 minutes. I'm not even to watch 10 minutes, worth it. It's 10 minutes and it's worth it. I'm telling you. Because they got all the movies on there, like all those movies I'm talking about, you can just click on it. Oh yeah, Ray said something about, was it old? You just talk to the stick, you're like, yo, old. And then it shows it to you, and boom, you just watch it. That's great. It's great.
It's funny because I was doing stuff with my crypto this morning, and I was trying to move my stuff onto my ledger. And what I noticed is that it doesn't have Oasis on there. And I'm like, well, damn it. That defeats the purpose of having this thing.
No, it does. It does. You just gotta go. There's a development section. Mm-hmm. So that the app is there. You just gotta get it from the development channel.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Which actually, like with crypto, it's funny because like you're like, oh, that's too much work. I don't want to deal with that on my Fire Stick. Mm-hmm. That's how I hear like with people when they're like, yo, I want to get into crypto. I'm like, all right, well, you need to buy this one because this one's really moving. Yeah. They're like, which one should I get? I'm like, well, this one is really, people are talking about it online. This one, it got some steam behind. You should get this one. And they're like, so what do I got to do? Can I get that on Robinhood or Coinbase? I'm like, no, you got to get, no, you got to do this and this and this. And they're like,
that's too much work.
Yeah, there really is. And it's like, well, if you want to make the money, like do the work.
Right. And you see, that's the difference. Like, I don't mind putting in the work when I'm like, ooh, I feel like, I'm investing versus like, ooh, I'm trying to download this app so I can watch movies and waste more time.
But people are like that too when it's just like, even with like the regular stock market, right? Mm-hmm. The regular stock market, whenever I put my money into something, I don't know. I started researching the company. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, I'm putting my money into this.
Right.
Like, I didn't even know. But most people are just like, yo, tell me a tip, tell me what's going to move, and I'll put my money into it.
Right.
And it's like, so you're just following the pack. Right. You're just, right. You're blindly following the pack. It's your money. Mm-hmm. Like, I never understood that. So that's why I started like getting into like newsletters and stuff like that. Like one of the ones I used to follow back in the day, and love them or hate them. But the Motley Fools, they were great. Like they would give you analysts as far as like why these companies, why they're looking into these companies. Like I know one of the biggest one was Nintendo. Like they were like, oh, hey, you should buy Nintendo before the Wii drops. Mm-hmm. And sure enough, I did. And sure enough, I made a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
So it's like, those are the things like you got to understand, like people buy things. And like, I have one friend who's always constantly like hitting up messages like, yo, why is Tesla tanking? Why? Oh, the other day, Amazon. Why is Amazon tanking? I was like, well, because they missed their earnings call. Mm-hmm. And when, they don't do so good in earnings, investors, they dip.
Yeah.
Or they're like, why is this skyrocketing? I'm like, because they had good earnings. If they have good earnings, people are going to buy it. And usually after an earnings call, if it's good, that stock's going to go up 15, 20%. So it's like you guys just got to do the research. You got to know what you're investing your money into.
Yeah. Don't
just be so blind. Now I get it. Some people, when they're blind, they bought Apple like 20 years ago and they're like super rich right now because they held on to it. but in that scenario, what did you invest in? You invested time more than anything, right? Mm-hmm. If you bought that stock and you just held it forever, right? So it's like you could have made a lot more money if you would have just been buying companies here and there when they were in their prime. Mm-hmm. But it is what it is. People want things.
A lot of these things, like, you do have to get into it early and hold because, it's really long term that you're going to see growth.
Right. And my problem is like, I'll find a good, maybe a good stock or like a good crypto. Mm-hmm. And I'll do all the research, but I won't take action in pulling the trigger and actually buying it. Because I'm hesitant. I'm like, oh, what if it goes down? And, oh no, I'm scared. No, I don't want to. And then sure enough, here it goes, it shoots up, and I'm like, I missed the boat on that one.
I could have. Yep. Yeah. So with investing for me, I look at it as money spent. I don't even look at it as like, oh, this is an investment. No. I'm like, oh, this is money I'm spending. Like, I'm not counting on getting this money back. And I feel like that way, like, when I do take losses, it's like, it was money spent anyway, versus,
I lost it, yeah.
Versus, like, oh my God, this is, like, everything, That makes sense.
And another thing I got to work on, too.
Some people, they take, they see those losses and they're just like, oh my God, and they get scared and they pull everything out. And, like, that's not the right move either.
Not even that, because if you, look, you could take some losses, but if you don't cash out on it, it's not realized, right? Mm-hmm. It's not realized losses. It's like it could go right back up if you're still holding it. It's like people, you can't panic and panic. All these emotions, you panicking, that comes from you not knowing what you bought. Mm-hmm. You not having confidence in what you bought. So when you do your homework and you do your research and you understand, like, hey, I don't understand why this price is dipping, right? Like, Amazon's not going to disappear. Mm-hmm. It's just a bad market right now.
Right.
It's going to go back up eventually, right? People are still using Amazon. Now, maybe Netflix might have a little hard time here coming forward because there's competition. Mm-hmm. But what's the competition to Amazon? Walmart? And Walmart's like lagging when it comes to Amazon.
Yeah.
I just heard like recently, right now, I'm getting my medication through Amazon Pharmacy. Mm-hmm. So now they're offering, pharmacy services. So it's like they're cornering everything. But that's how people are. They're finicky. They're like, oh my God, I'm in the red. I don't know. I need to sell before I lose anymore. It's like, you don't know what you bought.
Right.
But in the same sense, I do have a problem taking profits too. If I was to divulge how much I've lost, some of y'all would be like, what the? Ray, what's wrong with you?
Bring a tear to your eye.
Like, you need to take profits. It's just, I don't know, maybe I have too much conviction on what I own. Too much conviction. I'm like, no, this needs to be higher. But you got so much money right now. Like, what are you doing? Right now, let me see. So I've went up and then it came back down. It went up again and it came back down. So I'm 2 for 2. So hopefully the third one, 3 strikes you're out. Hopefully, or third time's a charm. Hopefully the third one I'll cash out. I'll be like, all right, we're good. I have no choice to, though. I'm like, I don't want to go back to work.
Right.
I don't want to go back to work. I got to cash out. But yeah, I've not once but twice, I've seen the most money I've ever had in my life. Like, life-changing money.
Oh my God. And it just drops back down. It's stressful. It definitely is stressful.
Yeah. The first one was early 2018. If I would have cashed out in 2018, I could have quit my job back then. I could have life-changing, and it went right back down. Mm-hmm. And then the second one was last year, and I'm like, oh man, I'm feeling nervous now. Oh, it's life, though. Mm-hmm. It's life. It's the lessons you learn.
The roller coaster. Alright, well, I'm gonna reintroduce the show, guys. If you're new to the channel, thank you so much for joining. Go ahead and hit subscribe and make sure you turn on notifications because we go on late mornings, Tuesdays, Thursdays, sometimes earlier than others. You don't want to miss a thing.
Sometimes later. Life happens.
We have 5 minutes before we get cut off again.
What? I don't know. Is it really doing it now?
I don't know what's going on with Zoom. Like, I restarted my computer, and Zoom thinks that there's more than 2 people on this call. Unless Zoom changed their parameters, and now it's only, like, it's limited for everyone.
That was just hilarious, because I was, like, in mid-sentence, it's just, yank!
Yeah. Because it counts down, but then once it gets to 1 minute, it's just like less than a minute remaining, and then it cuts off.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's hilarious. Yeah, so welcome to the show. If you're new, please feel free to comment down below. You know, if there's anything you want to talk about, any advice, anything you disagree with. Hey, we're open to disagreements. Tuesday's show was amazing because that's exactly what we wanted. We want. You know, we all see things differently, right? We all came through, even me and my sister, like me, though we had the same or similar upbringings, right? Because, you know, things different with school and the path you chose in your life. We see things differently. We don't always see things eye to eye, but it's cool to have that open discussion and be able to talk about things and come to a consensus.
Right.
And I think that's what at the end, we came up with a good, clear consensus. Like, oh, maybe it should be this or that. I love that. I love that. And I want more of that. Like, if you disagree with us, put it down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Like, I don't want this show to be a bunch of lemmings just like, yes. No, I want your ideas. I want you guys to show your personality. Like Fuzz. Fuzz definitely has a personality. So please feel free to comment down below and let us know what you guys want to talk about. I'm telling you, we still got to work on that call-in show. But everything, it's rough. Like Zoom right now, oh, you got to pay. Call-in show, you got to pay. It's like, man. I think if we use Streamlabs, right? If we switched over to Streamlabs, then you could be able to do that without Zoom, right? Because that's how Streamlabs is.
What do you mean? I'm using Streamlabs now.
No, you're not. No, I mean, not Streamlabs. Sorry. StreamYards. Like, we had an account for...
Yes.
Right? So we switch over to StreamYards that we could send the link down below, and then anybody could just, like, link in and start having a conversation with us. And then I think that would remove the issue that we're seeing right now with Zoom. Yeah, Zoom.
Okay.
Buzz, yes, I am going to see Doctor Strange tomorrow, which I was saying in the beginning of the show. Unfortunately, there's a lot of spoilers online.
Yeah, it's
so
already
I've seen
leaked.
a couple of spoilers. Yeah, it's leaking, and everybody's already talking about it. But I'm going to go see Doctor Strange tomorrow.
I wonder if I could see it on that the app you were just telling me about. Old?
Oh, if Doctor Strange is on there? It probably is, but it's going to be the camera version. That's what I noticed. Like, oh, with the which is funny because you know how like we're going into this new age streaming wars where like they're competing with the movie theater. So like a movie will be in the movie theater and maybe like a month later it's already on streaming.
Right.
And then once it gets on streaming, you know it's going to be on the pirate site. So it's boom, it's over there. So I'm like, yeah. I'm scared though because there's a bill. There's rumblings of a bill that they're trying to push where they're going to hold the ISP responsible. So they want the ISPs to block any of these like nefarious sites. And so I'm like, oh, if they pass that, that's going to be... But then again, you could just VPN. So I'm like, all right, I'll figure it out. Yeah, you gotta shut down this pirate. I found a DS Mom good copy online. Oh, really? Really? You found it online already? So, Maybe you could just go to that app, Lynn. Just go to that app and watch the movie that way. Like it's a cam version or it's actually the streaming version? That's when it's dope. When you find the streaming version, you're like, oh shit, this is 4K. Look, listen, I do not condone streaming of copyrighted material.
Yeah, no pirating.
Go to your sources, no pirating. I don't condone any of that. Go ahead and use your Netflix, your Disney Plus, your Peacock, your Paramount, your Hulu, your Amazon. Go ahead, use all those apps. I'm not condoning any of that. No. I'm just saying there's memes out there.
Fuzz said it's watchable.
It's watchable? Okay. You know what? I'm not gonna lie. I did that with what was it? Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. Mm-hmm. Like I was so excited. So I watched the bootleg version. And then after I saw the bootleg version, I was like, oh, this movie sucked. And so that's why I was like, I was glad I skipped that, seeing that in the movie theaters.
Yeah.
It's a HD cam, but the picture and sound is great. Oh, okay. Oh, I'm back in. All right, hold on. Oh, where's my camera? Hey, I'm back in.
Oh, man. Whoa, where are you? Looks like you're about to jump into a swimming pool.
No, I had to rotate because I don't know why it zoomed. Yo, Zoom, you need to fix your app. I thought
you had the selfie stick. I was like, whoa, where are we?
But Zoom needs to. Zoom, you need to fix your app. Because I'm sick and tired of having to rotate it when it's in landscape mode and portrait. You should know the gyro. The gyro should know that. You should program that in. Fix your app.
Also,
talking to you, Zoom.
Also, they have to fix this glitch with the thinking there's more than 2 people on here. Because clearly, there's only 2 people on here.
Yeah. Yeah, what's up with that? Come on, man.
Come on,
Get your shit together, Zoom. They got so full of themselves with the pandemic where everybody was using their app and they were like, oh, we're the best, and they forgot development. Come on, Zoom, get your shit together. Oh, that's hilarious. All right, Lynn, so what else you got about taking action? I feel like you're tapping out already.
I am.
She's sick. I know you're sick. Look. Listen, a round of applause and kudos to Lynn for coming on these last 2 episodes, even though she was like dealing with, she says it's the flu, but it sounds like it's a head cold.
It's the flu.
Sounds like she has the man flu more than anything. Like you're over dramatizing your sickness.
It definitely turned into a head cold like 2 days ago where like I just feel it all in my head. Oh man. When I sneeze, my head feels too full, and I feel like just that pain in my head, the pressure. It's awful.
I'm telling you, what you need to do is you need to get dressed and go outside. Today it's going to be 70 degrees. It's going to be beautiful. Get some fresh air in you. That's it. Get some sun. Get some fresh air. Get those lungs working. Take a deep breath.
That's what I've been missing.
Huh?
Thank you, Fuzz. Fuzz said, "Feel better, Lynn." But that's what I've been missing is the sunlight, like the sun's been hiding the past couple days. We've had a lot of rain, but
that is true. But today's supposed to be really nice.
Yeah, I'm glad the sun came out today. I've already been outside. I was in the backyard for a bit, and I'll go back out later.
Not only do you need to go out, you need to take your kids out too, because you're like, y'all, they're sick too.
I sent my kids back to school.
Oh, you did? Sick and all? Like, get out of here.
They had a note from the doctor that cleared them. I was like, cool, you guys can go back.
Lynn is not built for homeschooling. She's one of the ones that were complaining when COVID hit and the kids were at home.
Again.
We need to open back up. Not me, man. I like that my kids are homeschooled. I'm like, all right. Like, I don't know. That's just me. It's like they finished school, and I'm like, sweet. And then, like, next thing you know, we're all fighting each other. This morning it was hilarious because I walked by the classroom because there's a room that we designated as their classroom, right? Mm-hmm. So I walked by it, and my youngest comes at me with a chair from his classroom because we got those metal chairs. So he folded up just like wrestling. He comes out with me with the chair. so I slammed them into the table. I was like, I'll take a table. Oh, it's fine.
Oh man, I can't laugh. No laughing over here.
No laughter for you.
Jeez.
No laugh, Nazi. No laughter for you. Yo, you need to get out there. You're milking this. I see it. You feel like you're milking it.
I pushed myself. When was it? On Tuesday? On Tuesday, I was like, all right, I'm feeling a little better. And my youngest, he didn't catch it this time around.
Right, because he got it like 5 times, so he's good now.
Right, and I was like, well, like, he's been really good. You know, he's really been keeping himself busy while everyone else has been sick. And I know it's hard for, you know, a 7-year-old. He's only 7. So I took him to Urban Air, and I told him, I was like, look, I can get you to Urban Air, but I cannot run with you today. So I had him running around Urban Air and stuff, but just, you know, getting out there, driving out there, and being out there, it took it out of me. I came back home, and I was exhausted again.
Really? Mm-hmm. Lane, you're too young for that. Come on.
Right?
You're playing into this old lady stuff. You're playing into, listen, you're only as old as you feel inside your head. That's what I've noticed.
In my
like
head,
I go
it is now, but
it's why like I'm constantly doing like this, like I don't know, I feel like a kid again with my kids. Like I keep doing all that stuff because I don't want to feel old. It's why I will get on a scooter. I got a scooter coming in, I think Saturday. It's supposed to, you know, built more to hold my weight. So I'm gonna be out there scooting with them. You know, it's why I got that electric scooter. It's why I go camping with them. It's why, you know, we go to the lake. It's why I do all this stuff because it's like I don't want to feel old. Because once you give into that, like, oh, I'm old, then that's when you're going to start deteriorating.
Well, I'm feeling like this because I'm sick, not because I'm old.
No, you got an old soul. You got an old soul. You got an old soul that's craving for danger. You got an old soul that wants to go have fun. Your old soul's like, yo, let me out. I want to have fun. Why you want to keep me in this?
Young whippersnappers. They do.
Hey, see? These young whippersnappers with their craziness. It's hilarious. All right, Lynn, if you want, we can end it here if you feel like you need to go get some rest.
What time?
You have anything else on the topic as far as taking action? Holding yourself accountable?
No, as far as taking action, man, just do. Like, actually do. Like, don't get caught in an endless loop in your mind of all the things you could do, all the things you should do. Like, no, just do. Just physically
action,
do.
yeah.
Whether that means, like, you know, stuff around your house that has to get done, or, you know, projects that you want to do, like whatever it is, just do. Don't get caught
action,
in
yeah.
the.
I agree
hey,
because I
want to.
Yeah. Yep, because I started doing that and then I started telling myself, oh, I don't want to do that. Mm-hmm. And you start thinking about the negative of it. Whereas if you just started, you're just in the midst of it, and before you know it, you're going to get this attitude of, well, I started, I got to finish it. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I agree with that. So what's your next step? So after this course, what are you going to do next?
Well, the course is teaching me how to, you know, create and market my digital products.
Okay.
So I'm actually going to create a database of digital products.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm going to be on Amazon, on Etsy.
Okay.
And it's going to help me utilize the things I already have, like, you know, Pinterest. I love Pinterest, and that's definitely like a search engine. It's huge. And I'm going to use that with my marketing. And I'm hoping to create, you know, a steady income.
Well, there's two things I was starting to look at in my end. I want to learn how to use SEO, for one, to help grow the channel, and then two, like, you know, I'm always on Twitter, and like I don't know, for some reason I want to start putting out more Twitter content as far as when it ties into crypto. Mm-hmm. So I got to figure out just how to facilitate those two environments, YouTube and Twitter.
Yeah.
Twitter, you know, YouTube for us here, and then Twitter, you know, just for what I want to do personally. Because like I said, I'm really passionate about crypto. Mm-hmm. That's like the only other thing that I'm passionate about right now. So I got to figure that out. So yeah, you got to start somewhere. You just got to take baby steps and keep, you got to plant the seed in the back of your head and watch it grow. Because once you plant that seed, you're going to constantly be just thinking about it.
Right.
Just you're always gonna be thinking about it. Like that happened with us. Like we started this show, we left it, and guess what? It kind of kept haunting us. Like, oh, we should really get back into it. So now we just gotta figure out how to make it grow.
Yeah.
Oh, Fuzz is commenting. Let's get some comments. Well, Fuzz first said, "Feel better, Lynn." She's all right. She's fine. She's milking it. She's fine. She'll take some tea and soup. She'll be okay. And then Fuzz said, "You gonna buy some books?" Me or Lynn? Lynn, are you gonna buy some books?
I think that was towards me. So, I'm actually gonna hire a ghostwriter.
Okay.
And I'm developing a mystery book, like a novel. It's gonna be a 3-part series.
Okay.
So that is one aspect of it. There's another one where. So I like through another course I've taken like in the past, because really digital products is where I've been like hovering. That's where, you know, I'm trying to build a business out of. So there's another way where you buy a book and then you have the resale rights. So you create the landing page and everything, and like this ebook is yours. You can sell it at whatever price you want to sell it at. You know, you can change the book cover. You can market it however you want.
To me, it sounds like a great idea, but it's also a crazy idea, because it's like, we were talking about this. I'm like, what if this author, right, is the next Harry Potter? He writes this great book, this great novel, sells it to you. It blows up. You get movie rights. You get all this. And he's like, he wrote the book. He created it or whatever.
Right.
Like, to me, it's like, that's mind-boggling that there's an environment for that. But I get it, because, you know, you got these writers who are just really super creative. They're cranking out books, but they don't know how to advertise themselves. And that's like what we're running into right now with this channel. Is like, this channel could grow. We just don't know how to advertise it.
Right.
And so that's what we got to learn. We just got to learn advertising. Which that's another thing they don't teach in school. Sales, you know? Sales there's so much things you can learn from sales. You can learn how to get rejected. You can learn how to public speak, right? There's so much, you know, how to close, not how to waste your time. Like, there's so much stuff that you can learn from sales that most people don't go through. And it's like, when you got to do this stuff, you know, networking, all this stuff, like, people don't know how to do that. And like I said, this is where I go back to, like, the school should be teaching people how to do this kind of stuff. But Fuzz said, I heard of a guy buying books and then slapping his name on the cover. Yep, that's what Lynn's going to try to do.
It's similar. It's similar.
It's amazing that there's a market for that. Kudos. Yeah. Kudos, because really,
which is crazy. So now that I'm learning this, I'm going through like the Kindle like bestsellers list, and like I'm able to like spot other people who are doing this, and like they're all in like the top sellers. And I'm like, that's really like how this industry is growing. It's by people who are, you know, they're being that middle person between the writers and the readers.
And if you think about it too, you also gotta. It takes a visionary to see certain things. Like a lot of these, like, let's say, for example, these romantic novels, right? A lot of these novels, like, you have somebody who can write the story really good. It's gripping drama, right? But what sells those novels? It's that guy with the long hair on the cover, right? Holding the girl, and it's the illustration that sells it, right?
Right.
Like, you're feeding the fantasy off the cover page, right? Where the writer may not think like that to project that. It takes a visionary to see certain things. Same thing with like certain like mission, like some books that I'll see, like when I'm looking for an audiobook or even when I'm looking for a podcast. It's what's the two things that sells me? The picture, right? The illustration, the picture,
and the title,
and the synopsis.
Okay.
Because that's it. You got like the picture drives me in, and then the synopsis tells me what the content may be. So if you could give me a really good, even when we're watching a movie, you give me a really good synopsis, and then you leave me with the cliffhanger of what the rest is, I'm clicking on it. I'm going to try to see what it is.
That's like one of my favorite pastimes on Netflix. I just like hover over them and I read the synopsis.
Yeah, right. Like a really good trailer can sell a crappy ass movie. So it's those are the kind of things that maybe somebody's good at writing, and they're good at illustration, and then you need somebody like Lynn, who's the visionary, who can bring that all together. Hopefully, you're the visionary. We'll see where this goes. It's really interesting because I'm like, how can you just take somebody's book?
So it's not all right. So there's a difference between just buying a book and hiring a ghostwriter. So if a ghostwriter, I'm actually giving them the theme of the book. I'm giving them the idea, and they're just creating a book from my idea. They're writing my story.
Gotcha. Gotcha. It's a cool concept. I wish you the best.
We'll see where it goes.
I think knowing you, because I know myself, I know you. Don't procrastinate and don't lose interest, because we do that a lot. Like we give up when it's in its infancy. We're like 1 month in, we're like, why am I doing this? I don't want to do this no more. Let's not do that. Don't do that. Stick with it, because it sounds pretty cool. All right. And then Ma said, and this could be the closing comment, because this is a great one. She said, see, that's why I keep lifting my leg to keep me younger. And yes, Ma, you are very inspirational in the sense that you never felt like you were old. Whenever the kids came around and was like, Grandma, let's do this, you would be right there with them doing it. And I think that is the secret. That is the fountain of youth. Everybody wants to look young, and they do all these manipulations and all these chemicals and all this stuff. No, that's not what it is. Believe it in here. Believe it in your mind that you're not getting old. And trust, you will not be old. Now, Ma's starting to show her age, but Ma's old. She's almost hitting 70 here.
Yeah.
So, but she was always having fun. And that's the secret of life. Have fun. One ride. You got one ride. Make the most of it. But on that note, go ahead and close the show.
All right, guys. Have a great weekend. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you next time.
Enjoy your weekend. It's supposed to be beautiful outside. Thanks for watching.